Hello, 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 hello. Check, check, check. I don't know if this is working or not. Ugh. Whoa, this is really bright. Hold up, let's fix this. All right, check, check, check. Mic check. 1 2 1 2. Is everyone here? I see Dieter and TH were here, but my internet seems to be really buggy. My internet seems to be glitching out, bugging out. It's coming back a little bit. Give me a second. Let me go check. All right, chat. I'm here. I'm here. After you getting sick, now the internet. Yep, that's exactly it. I mean, I've been tracking the down detector. You see the top number in the corner, it says 8,000. About 8,000 reports have been coming in recently from my internet provider, Rogers. So there was a little bit of a problem, but looks like it's good now. Hopefully it's stable. Hopefully it's stable to the point where I don't have to go offline again. I am seeing that enough packets are going through to YouTube and no disruption at the moment. So that's exactly what we need. Let's just get the job done, ladies and gentlemen. Already off to a horrible start today. Let me send the tweet out. We are now live. Internet seems to be fine. Now live. Seems to be coming back slowly. Now live. Click here. And I need to get that link somehow. I don't know where that link is. Give me a second. Let me get that link over here from my Discord. Announcements. Copy link. Copy text. Put it in here. And yeah, send that tweet out. Hopefully people will start rolling in. If not, we'll just do the job anyways. Because, you know, we're not here to waste time anymore. We're not here to waste time. Let's just get the ball rolling before the internet goes down again. That's my basic fear at the moment. We have a watch list ready. We have my trades on the day ready. I had a lot of things ready to talk about and go, but I'm just worried that the internet will cause me more issues. So I'm just gonna get the ball rolling over here. As always, guys, welcome to the TraderPrad show. Hopefully you guys had a great day. How did my day go? My day was a little bit of a nothing burger, I guess. I did give back some of the money that I made yesterday. It could have been a lot worse. It could have been a lot worse, but we did fight our day back from how bad it was to somewhat of a less bad of a day. But you know, I'm not really hurt on confidence off that. I'm still feeling very confident. I'm still feeling very good with how my year is starting, and I'm looking forward to a banger of a year, 2024. You know how everyone says, "This is my year. This is my year. This is my time." No, this is actually like literally, like honestly, this is my time. And if I can't make it happen this year, then I don't know if I can ever make it happen. So I'm on a clock, and on my own clock. I'm on a mission. I'm on a things to get done, missions to things to get done. So we got a lot to do. Talking about the market, however, let's talk about my trades on the day. I'll show you guys right now where my trades came from, where my money came from, and where did I lose money overall. My number one trade on the day today was Walgreens. Walgreens came out with their earnings report, broke down to the downside. I think it was down about 12-15% if I remember correctly. Maybe not that much, Prad, because it was only down 7% at this time of the day. So maybe it was down about 10% or so, triggering the SSR mechanic. On the daily charts, you'll also see right around 2250s, 2260s was a recent triple bottom on the daily chart. I can actually just show it to you right here. This is not the level, sorry. But anyways, there was a level around 2250 to 2260. That's where I have this line on this chart, as you guys can see. Oh no, please don't tell me you're lagging now. That's where you see this line comes in. The stock does drop down, starts creating somewhat of a base here. So seeing that base being formed, I'm then taking my long into my trade for Walgreens, add on the break of 23, scalp some profits. After testing VWAP, it comes back and kind of struggles to really go right back to lower day. So that was pretty bullish enough for me to add back on those dips, ride it all the way up to $24. It was a nice clean ride, about $1 per share, a little bit more than $1 per share, but about $1 per share. Beautiful ride to the north side. Later on, I was looking for the stock to maybe go to 24.50s, 24.30 areas, but right around 24, it was just having a lot of trouble. So instead of taking the breakout 24 long, I start taking the shorts instead, and I ride the short to the downside for a quick little scalp into VWAP. Walgreens, my best trade on the day. Pretty happy with how I traded this one, but the same cannot be said about the next few stocks that you're gonna see that we traded today. QuantumScape, what a monster rally, man! What a monster rally. Could not find a way to enter on the long side, but there were so many opportunities to buy the dips. I just didn't do it. However, around $10 where the stock pushed up into at this time of the day, there was big volume coming in, big volume, almost as much volume as the 950 area brought in off the open, not off the open, but in the middle of the day. So a lot of volume coming in, so that looked like a volume exhaustion event. Some seller was waiting for $10 and then just started dumping into the $10 area. Got a quick little short over there, but did not really like how the stock was holding into this 980, so I just got out on that position for a 20-cent scalp. Missed out on a nice little move to what I think was 930, 940. Yeah, right here you can see how it pushed down to 940s, 930s. Missed out on that. Not going to be too upset. Had I traded the stock properly, had I put the stop right above high a day where it should have been, it was at high a day, I would have never been stopped out, and I would have been able to add more shares on this flush somewhere down over here and really make this trade work for me. But at that moment, we just wasn't thinking about that. I was dealing with a lot of brain fog. I'm still sick. Obviously, you guys can hear it. You guys can probably see it. The brain fog, which is still there right now. My mind is just like so cluttered up. I can't really think properly, can't really process properly. I guess you could call that as an excuse, but it's real. The brain fog is real. I'm not really able to process information today, so that's causing me to not hold the trades properly, make bad decisions overall, and not really maximize my wins, and kind of just had a pretty whatever day today. My worst trade on the day comes from UPST. So UPST, you guys, if you tuned into last night's stream, you know how we were so adamant on looking for the long at the $35 area. We were pretty bullish at that $35 area, especially because it was also the earnings anchored VWAP coming into $35. But off the open, 35 just wasn't holding. There was a lot of weakness coming in right around that $35 area. At that point, I flipped to a short bias and basically fought the short for quite a bit. It looked like the short was getting ready to start paying me out, but just because of how I took my ads and how I entered the positions, ended up being a little bit of a more damage than it should have been. So UPSD almost exactly PNL winner as much as WB8 was for us. So all the other losers that we had on the day, such as Dollar General, we got a long after it bounced off of VWAP, but then the real long was somewhere under VWAP after it's like shakes people out. Then it starts rallying to the north side. We were talking about possible Dollar General move to the north side after Jim Cramer sent this tweet out yesterday, and that's exactly how the play played out. We just missed out on this beautiful long. Kind of got honestly trapped into it. At least I thought was a good long with the risk right here, and I gave that risk a little bit more room than that low, which I get triggered onto. Then I move away from that position, but exactly where I get stopped out is where the entry should have been. A couple more minutes to the right side, and insane longs would have been caught. But basically, other losses like Suncor or even Dollar General hurting me on the trade today. Apple, we caught a good short on Apple. That ended up being a nice little trade. UNG, we tried a short, didn't like it, get out. So that was basically my day today. Like I said, a nothing burger event. Really didn't really do too much today. And market also wasn't really moving around, giving me a lot of opportunities later on in the day. So It just ended up being that way. Tomorrow, however, maybe some opportunities show up, and if they do, we'll be ready to smack them. You know that, baby. TraderPrad is always here, ready to smack the shit out of the market, or get smacked sometimes. Get smacked sometimes. Earnings board. We kind of forgot about taking a look at earnings board today. Walgreens announced earnings, and that reminded me, like, hey, how can you forget to take a look at earnings? It's your favorite thing to do. So here's the earnings board. Tomorrow morning we got Constellation Brands, the only one that I'm interested in. The other two I don't really care about too much, but Constellation's brand STZ on the watch list. So we'll talk about Constellation Brands. We'll also talk about a bunch of other stocks such as Walgreens, Mobileye, obviously your crypto stocks, QS, and try to find a play in these top 4 or 5 stocks over here. I got some extra stocks and the overall markets listed down over here. Obviously we love taking a look at the large cap basket, so we got those stocks in there too. But I mainly want to find the ideas and the plays in these top 4 or 5 stocks over here, because they had pretty crazy moves today. And if they can give us some sort of a day 2 continuation or some sort of a day 2 reversal play setup, I would love to be involved in that. So why don't we start off with the first stock over here on that list, which is Walgreens, WBA. As you saw how I smacked that trade today, amazing SSR long. I mean, look at that candle, just launched from that low, and we pretty much had the whole move. Launched from that low, pretty much had that whole move. It did manage to go to the 2420s, 2430s that we were expecting the stock to go to, but way later on in the day, at which point I wasn't really watching it. Walgreens, how does it set up for tomorrow is the main question here. But before I do anything, I would just like to quickly do a couple things here. What the hell? What happened? Where is this one? Okay, there you go. That's where it is. Put that at 9:30. Put this at 9:30. Oh, that's 9:25. 9:30, please. 9:30, and then we just have to kind of drag and drop. Okay, so now we're seeing where Walgreens is. If we quickly just zoom out to the 60-minute chart, what does it look like? So on the 60-minute chart, we got this beautiful triple bottom. This is what I was talking about too. If you go on the daily chart, see right here on the daily chart on the December 8th, 11th, and the 12th, even the 13th, we basically held this 2250s, 2260s. So I was watching that area to see if any buying would show up. Buying did show up, got long, had fun to the move, had fun with the move to the north side. Now the question is, what happens when the stock makes an even bigger pop to the north side, or does it start showing some rejections around this area and then get back to the south side, which was the direction of the earnings report? You know, big down move on the earnings report. They were expecting 66 cents. They reported they were expecting 61 cents. They reported 66. They were estimating. Looks like the earnings report did come out positive, but something to do with maybe the guidance, something to do with the earnings report itself. Maybe the CEO was saying something in regards to the company's growth and other factors, all of which I have no clue right now about, because you know, we only care about the price action, price and volume. I only care about that. But according to the price and according to the volume, there was a lot of buying that came in, even though the stock did sell off. A lot of buying came in on the day today, taking the stock almost back to the halfway through the day's range. So the question is, do we hold this halfway range tomorrow and pop back up, or does it find some selling into this halfway range and then drop right back to the south side? And do we see that 2260s, 2250s area coming back into play? If it does, do we hold at that 2260, 2250, or does it break and get under it to continue for an even bigger sell-off day tomorrow? Maybe not an even bigger, but another good sell-off day tomorrow on Walgreens. So kind of looking forward for that. In terms of putting into our notes, it's like I said, 2260 / 2250 as a support. As for the resistance, I think I don't really have like a solid resistance level at the moment. I mean, you could zoom out on the chart and kind of call this resistance over here near 2450s or so, but I'm not expecting 2450s to really come into play, I'll be honest. However, if it does come into play, we'll watch it, and I'm just gonna put that level as a resistance at the moment, because I mean, if it does pop up, we can wait to see if selling can build into 2450s and then ride the stock from 2450s all the way back to 2260s, get a good $2 move on that level. So for infliction, it'll be either 2450 or 2260. As for the notes, Stock announced earnings reported. I can't spell announce apparently. REPORTED reported earnings yesterday morning and sold off. Caught the SSR long, but if this caught the I don't need to put that. And sold off. Looking for a day 2 play. Bias bearish below 24 and 24.50. Bullish above 22.50 and bearish below. So overall, just simple. We're just gonna wait on the edges. We're just gonna wait on the edges to figure out what we want to do. I don't really want to be making too much of a decision in the middle of these ranges for Walgreens. But if some of you want to, there's a range over here or a level, somewhat of a level around 23.50s, 23.60. So basically, in between the $2, in between the $2 that we're watching over here, there's somewhat of an area. It also happens to be right around where the earnings VWAP is, or where today's VWAP happened to be, 23.65, right in the middle of the $2 range that we're looking at. So instead of having to make a decision into this middle of the range, I rather just wait at the edges, see if the stock can pop up and hold this area for some longs to build into, or pop up, sell back, and then continuously sell off of this area for some shorts to build into. Same idea stands at the lower level. Look for the longs on a possible hold like this, but also look for a short on a possible opposite direction hold to the downside. Basic idea over there. Sup bros, I'm still driving home. Oh my god, don't drive and text, buddy. Be careful. Appreciate you dropping in, appreciate you showing some love. My internet was laggy, so the stream had to come a little bit slower, so you caught it just in time because we only talked about one stock so far. Now, let's go to the next stock, Mobileye. Mobileye, obviously, not an earnings play if I remember accurately. Let's go see what the catalyst was for the stock. I think they were talking about a 25% decrease in their revenue and their growth and so on. The company still makes money, but you know, they were talking about a big drop in their about a 25% drop in their revenue or their growth or some sort of a metric that the market really did not like that they set that. So Mobileye dropped from a pretty decent price right back into the IPO ranges, somewhere between $27 and $30. The IPO low is actually at 26, but today popping right into the IPO high of $30, kind of even breaking past that $30 to $31 and then selling right back off, pegging that $30 level pretty hard and basically closing at $30 in the after hours, closing at $30 during the regular hours, and showing you that really that $30 level is pretty damn important. I think tomorrow, however, you gotta watch out for that $31 area too, which happened to be today's high. There's a good chance that we could see this area coming back into play and then the stock selling off. But if we do reject 31, come back to 30 and hold 30 the way we did today again, then there's really no trade for me there, right? I don't want to fight this 30 area. For me to really even think about the short, especially how the stock moved off of its own catalyst, they expected a 25% drop in revenue or growth, whatever that metric is. They actually ended up dropping 25% on the stock market itself. So I think, the move is now kind of baked in. There's a good chance for the stock to kind of make a secondary rally up tomorrow like the way it rallied off the lows. But there's also another great chance where 31 rejects, 30 rejects, and the stock just plummets to the ground. So that's something that I want to look out for. Watching for 31, yesterday's high, and then watching 30, key level / IPO high, to see what happens. Inflection will be 30, bearish below 30, bullish above 31. So for me, I don't really want to be shorting 30 unless we're actually holding 30, because the stock could easily go to 31, and if I'm shorting 30, then I might as well be ready to risk 31, and if I'm ready to risk 31, then I might as well just wait near 31. Doesn't make sense to start taking the short here and give it about $1 risk. Although if you do that, there's a great chance that the stock goes to $26, which is the IPO low or even the all-time low, giving you that beautiful risk to reward. But that's like a swing trade, right? I don't think this move to $26 happens in one day. That's like a swing trade. So as a day trade, you got to learn to manage your expectations. You got to learn to really plan for your entries and your exits the right way. Otherwise, you get hurt, because price is very important, especially for day traders. You're not time in the market, but you're timing the market when you're day trading. But when you're swing trading, when you're investing, it's more time in the market. That's why strategies like dollar cost averaging and everything else works out for those type of trading avenues. But when you're day trading, you can't just dollar cost average into a loser again and again and again and again and just get your dick ripped off. Doesn't work like that, right? So Mobileye, I don't want to do anything on the 30 side. Me too, says Michael Storm. Oh my God, what are you guys driving and texting for? You guys trying to get tickets? You guys are crazy, man. I appreciate the love, though. I appreciate the love, but you guys are crazy. Please be safe. Please be safe. And Blind, I need you to be safe. If you're not safe, who's going to run the Discord? Didn't you also use either Market Watch or Market Beat? What do you mean by that, bro? Didn't you also use Market Watch or Market Beat? I have a whole list. Oh, you mean the one of the free websites I use? I use like Market Chameleon or something. It's like the after hour scanner right here, the Market Chameleon after hour scanner. I actually plan to make a video before you, Michael, because you have me interested in this. Let me put it into my notepad so I can remember. Make a video about the free trading tools. So this video will basically be an offline video, kind of like not a live stream video, but an offline video where I'll just kind of take all of my trading tools that I use. Most of them, not most of them, all of them are free. At least the ones that are free, I'll kind of group them all for you in one little place and make a video about it maybe over the weekend, then edit it and post it. So stay tuned for that. Stay tuned for that. Did you say swing trade? I grabbed some Mobileye today trying just that. I mean, yeah. I mean, are you trying to swing it to the long side, or are you trying to swing it to the downside? Would love to know what direction you're situating yourself is for Mobileye, Josh. As for the supports on Mobileye, we are looking for, once again, that $26 area, which was the IPO low. That IPO low of 26. Let me just put it in my notes. Oh, what the hell? 26 IPO low, and right after that IPO low is that 24.85, which is the all-time low. All-time low. So watching these key areas for tomorrow. Now, for a more fun stock, which did a lot of crazy move today. I mean, you could have bought any dip you wanted, and you could have printed on this position. What an insane rally on QuantumScape. I think the news was that someone said they might think about buying QuantumScape over the weekend. Thank Volkswagen. Das Auto. The electrical EV vehicle batteries. Oh, what? I thought QuantumScape was electrical EV battery? I thought QuantumScape did like chips for phones. I'm getting confused with Qualcomm. That's why I'm getting confused with Qualcomm. Okay. Now I understand the problem here. My brain got 100% jumbled. I told you, brain fog out the wazoo today because I'm sick. Yeah, big confusion between QuantumScape and Qualcomm. Qualcomm is an EV vehicle battery startup, and apparently Volkswagen thought about buying them out. Not sure at what price or what they're thinking about. Shares traded. Yep, I remember that. Not sure what price they're thinking about buying up this stock, but clearly that catalyst bringing in a big move to QuantumScape. I mean, previously $130, $100 stock plus, but now coming back to reality near $4 or $5. VW coming in to think about acquiring them so they could use their software to propel their own electrical vehicle lines and so on. So it looks like something of a strategic buyout plan coming in, and QuantumScape obviously using that catalyst to launch itself to the north side. Lot of FOMO buyers, looks like, because people really think the stock could be worth a lot. Apparently, right? They were buying every single dollar to the north side. People probably think that this stock could be worth a lot if it's getting bought out. Could get bought out at like what, 28, $50. And if that's the case, buying it at 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 does not look like a bad idea now, does it? Even if you buy at $10, give it a risk of all-time low at $5, and the stock goes to $40 on the news that it's getting acquired, you just made crazy risk to reward on that position. But if you lose on it, you lose $5, right? $5 compared to $35. That's like, what is the risk to reward on that? 35 divided by 5, that's like 7R of a trade. So monster trade over there if you want to do that. But I don't like to really play rumors. I rather wait for the news to come out and then trade the news. So I wouldn't suggest that trade idea as a swing trade to anybody. But if you like the rumor, you think the rumor's true, you want to be involved in it for a swing trade, you know, buying on a dip back near 8, 7, or even punching that 10 breakout, if it does happen with the stop under 5 as your swing trade, doesn't look too bad at all, because the stock could easily go up much higher if that rumor is true. Once again, I want to hammer that point in. If the rumor is true. Now, looking at the stock obviously making this move up to $10, lots of questions are going to come in. You know, what type of opportunities do we have tomorrow? Is the stock going to go crazy tomorrow also? Or is it just going to normalize a little bit? Or does it sell off drastically? All of these questions I really don't have an answer to, right? We got to wait to see what happens in pre-market. We have to wait to see what happens during the intraday time. But we can prep for it by throwing out some trade ideas in our notes. So clear, obvious resistance right now around $10. That was the high of day today. Looks like a little bit of a support being formed right around what, $9 at the moment, but yeah, right around $9. A little bit of a support being formed around 9. So we'll watch these two levels. If the stock is going under 10 or 9, 9 or 10 will be the inflection. If stock is I'm not gonna put any notes. If bullish above 10, bearish below 9. It's that simple, right? That simple. Very simple. Just waiting to see if some selling can come in around these areas for us to ride the stock right back down, or looking for buying to come in at 9 and then buying to come in also at 10 for an even bigger move to the north side. Bullish at above 9. The reason why we're not bearish below 10 is because I don't really want to see what happens in this area. I rather just wait for 9 to not hold. If I know that there is no more buyer at 9, especially around these areas, 890, 880, if there's no buyer in this area tomorrow, then that looks like a money short. But if there's a buyer here, shorting here to here, yeah, great, you can make money. But I want a bigger move. I want that nasty move to the downside, because this was just a pure rumor play, So I'm very interested to see what happens. But let's say this area does hold, there is a buyer. Getting along in this area is going to print you. So we want to be interested to see that. Possible day 2 long. But if yesterday's VWAP is not holding or curving down, think short. There we go. All right. Next up, STZ. This one, obviously a little bit of a boomer stock. Doesn't really do as much volume as the stocks that we love trading. It only does about 1 million shares per day. Not bad, but not the greatest either. What the hell is this anchored VWAP coming from? Let's just get rid of that one. Oh, that's the previous earnings anchored VWAP. Is it? No, it's not. No, it's not. All right. So a little bit of a boomer stock over here. It is in a nice little range. So let's say this range does break. I'm going to move this line. Not sure where this line's coming from, but I'm going to move this line to somewhere here. Instead of doing that, actually, I'll delete this line, throw in a purple box. Throw in a purple box in that range. Recent high at 245. Yeah, 245 exactly. Recent high at 245. You can see how the stock clearly has a lot of support areas that it can bring in if it wants to. So you want to be careful for the downside. Not really short too heavily unless we're under 240 or so, and that might just happen in pre-market. If the earnings report's bad, it might just trade under 240 in pre-market, and then you're watching to see what happens at 230, 235 areas. But let's say the earnings report's good, the stock expecting it to go above 245, then pull back and maybe show some support at 245, or just continue ripping above 245. So 245 is a pretty important level for me if the report is good. But if the report's bad, then 245 kind of doesn't really matter, because I think the stock opens up into 235, 230 areas. So you're watching those zones. I'm just going to quickly put down some levels over here that I'm watching. I'm going to revamp my watch list tomorrow morning after the stock starts moving, and see if there is any actual volume in pre-market. On earnings day, the stock does bring in a little bit of extra R-vol, meaning relative volume. Usually it does maybe only 1 million, but on earnings day it could do 2 million. So a reason to kind of take a look at the trade if you're looking at STZ over here. If you're interested in earnings play, that is. My brain's just fogged up, man. I can't even say a single word. But STZ, looking to see what happens around these few ranges that I have mapped out, and then we'll revamp the watch list if it needs to be, or revamp the notes for that specific stock in pre-market based on how the pre-market move is. Cryptocurrencies. I don't know if the Bitcoin ETF is canceled or not canceled, but here's a video that I have queued up about cryptocurrencies. So we'll watch this when we, or we'll chart crypto when we watch this video to kind of get an understanding of what exactly is happening. Look, I am just a monkey, just an ape who smokes trees and punches keys, okay? I don't know a lot, but when I don't know something, I make it a mission to go learn about it. And people like Matt Kors, people like SMB Capital, other great channels and other news resources, help me kind of fill in the gap that I am missing over here. I'm not a financial degree guy, right? I'm just the kid who thought trading is cool, and went and applied and got the job and got trained and learned a lot on the job, right? Learned a lot on the job. So the next part is continue to learn. Don't stop, don't stagnate, continue to learn. And this is one of the steps over here, watching YouTube videos. I know someone in the YouTube chat recently was like, not our live chat, but someone in the YouTube comments and the offline comments is like, why would I watch you watch other videos? Well, clearly you don't tune into my stream. That's not the only thing we do. We talk about stocks, we look at trades, we try to answer questions over here, and we try to grow together. You get to watch a video that I'm watching, and maybe you get to learn some perspective that I have on it, or make your own perspective about it, right? So that's this video that we're gonna watch before when we're going to trade cryptocurrencies. But we're gonna move past cryptocurrencies for the time being and go to the next stock on the watch list, which is Rivian going back under 20, not really holding 20 at all. I mean, this was an easy trade today, struggling around 20, pops into 22, 20 or whatever, right around these areas, and then selling off all the way to the downside into the 1950 area. 1950 kind of came into play a little bit yesterday, not really, but came into play a little bit. But today, all the way back down. Now the question is, what does the stock do on the pop to 20? We should not see Rivian getting above 20 at all. If it does get above 20, 2020 should be the highest. See how the stock actually rejected yesterday's close? We traded around into yesterday's area a little bit. We popped up. We rejected yesterday's close, and that's where the sell-off started happening. So you kind of want to see if yesterday's high comes back into play, which is today's high, or yesterday's close comes back into play, which is again today's close, which is around what did we close at today? 1950, baby, 1950. Beautiful. And then under 1950, I guess you could say $19, which is what the earnings anchored VWAP, the recent earnings anchored VWAP right here. No, that is, yeah, the recent earnings anchored VWAP. This is the news anchored VWAP when they announced that they're diluting their shares and so on. So the earnings anchored VWAP coming into play at the moment. Show you that chart again right there. The earnings anchored VWAP coming in at $19 for those of you who are interested. We already saw how the earnings anchored VWAP can kind of help you or really screw you over today, right? So we were looking for the long on the earnings anchored VWAP, but it actually set up for a short first, and then it screwed us on the short, and then started working on that short later on. Look at that monster short. We kind of screwed that up for ourselves. But wait, is UPST 34 giving us some sort of a trade? Nah, not really. Going back to Rivian, looking for the stock tomorrow to kind of give us an idea to see what we want to do at 1950. You can see how the stock basically held this 1950 area for quite a few days. If we zoom it out on the daily chart right here, that 1950 area, if we don't hold it, I think there's much more room to the downside for us to party with on Rivian. And since today we're only down 4%, SSR day 1, SSR day 2, not SSR, and not down more than 10%. That means also not SSR tomorrow. So we'll be free reigns. We'll be most likely breaking 1950 and maybe even 19. As for infliction, we'll put 1950 and 20. As for notes, I don't really need notes. I don't need notes for the stock because we've been watching the stock trade around for the last few days. For Rivian, bearish below 20. Bearish below 1950. Am I really thinking bullish at 1950? Nah, I'm mainly looking for the shorts. I don't think this is done yet. I don't think this move is done yet. But it's not about what you think or what you believe. It's about what the market's telling you, right? It's about what the market's telling you, how the stock's moving, and what's really happening. So we're gonna have to be a little patient, see what happens. I do want to call 19 bullish if 19 holds, but no, I'm not gonna put that in my note because I don't want to even put anywhere in my notes that I am somewhat of a bullish at some level, because if I do that, I might just change my mind on the fly and start thinking long for some reason. So I don't want to put that in my note. I want to be bearish, and I only want to be bearish at a couple of prices. If those prices are not in play, I don't care what happens to the stock, because there's going to be tons of other stocks for me to be interested in, and that's the mindset. Okay, let's go to the next stock over here. RXRX, baby. This stock absolutely insane today. Really quick, have to go check what the flow is on this position. RXRX. Oh, that's not bad at all. 151 million shares. Oh, nice little short float. 24% short flow coming in. Recent earnings. Looks like a bad earnings report. They trade around $5-6. They started popping up ever since to the north side. So here's RXRX. Go back to the daily chart. Nice little double bottom near $5 or so. Triple bottom, I guess you could say at this point. Triple bottom around $5. Taking the stock right back to the north side. Actually, I'm going to just do this real quick. Hold up, chat. Okay, so forming a nice little base over here, triple bottom in front of $5 from $4.55 to $5 or so, and now with that short float catalyst popping back up, recent earnings also. If we were to kind of put in the earnings anchored VWAP, this will be a little bit of a weird one, not a true earnings anchor. I guess I shouldn't say that. Yeah, I'm not gonna say that. I'm just gonna retract what I just said. Don't ignore it. But if you put in the earnings anchor view off, see how it basically held it for a bunch of days, for a week or two, and then broke out and now formed a nice little base, and now breaking out again, looking like it wants to take out this 1117 area, or even today's high around 1150. If we take it out, does that not open up a lot of room to the upside on this position? So not sure what the catalyst is. Also, it's got a decent enough of a short flow. So if the catalyst that it has, or even if it doesn't have a catalyst and if it's just going up based on the XLV sector, which was going up, amazingly to the north side recently on mRNA's upgrade, this one could join the party and make things more fun. So that short flow component is pretty important. I'm just gonna have to put that in my notes over here. What is the stock's float? Float 151 mil. Short SHRT float 24.38%. Could look for some longs. I'm pretty excited for this one, I'll be honest. So as for the levels of interest, it will be obviously 1117 to 1150. You kind of want to watch that whole area. I'm just gonna put in 11 Nah, I'm gonna watch the whole range. I'm gonna watch the whole range, 11.20 to 11.50. You can even just say $11, or you could put 11 as a support. If 11 doesn't hold as a support, then kind of, you know, trouble in RX town. And if 11.50 breaks out and starts going higher, that's a little bit of a key information too, that the stock is getting ready for squeeze day 2 coming into play. Inflection will be most likely 11 for me. If 11's holding, then there's a good chance that we take out 11.50. If 11 is not holding, then there's no chance we're taking out 11.50, right? It's most likely retracing back to the south side. So the main level that we are watching tomorrow will be that $11 price. Bullish above 11, bearish below 11, bullish above 11.50, not really bearish below 11.50 because I don't care about a 50-cent range to trade into. So RX, if there is some volume tomorrow to be interested in, we'll take a look at that one. Next up, PTON. Usually nothing burger trades on PTON, but yeah, it looks like PTON popped up over here. We're just gonna throw in alert at 658. That way, when 666 comes into play, we can then take a look at this position. Until then, nothing really for me to do on this one. Move away from it. Let's go to APA. APA did have some news catalyst today. Let's go see what that was. Oil producer fell 5%, said that it would buy. Oh, okay. Not really a trade worthy of a catalyst in my opinion. You know, they're just buying another company. Usually when a company is buying out another company, they are out of X amount of cash out of their pocket because they're buying it either through shares or either through cash. If they're buying it through cash, they're out of some X amount of dollars from their bank account. So obviously when you report your next earnings report, it's going to show up on the balance sheet. So market kind of like accumulate, or not accumulate, market kind of making that view come into play. But if you also do it by shares, then most likely people are like, oh, now my shares are worth less or whatever. But if, in my opinion, when a company is buying out another company, it's a good thing, right? They're merging, they're growing, they're expanding, and the company buying is the richer, the better company. It should be bullish. But Neil kind of explained it to me. It's like, you know, let's say Microsoft and what was that company that Microsoft bought recently? OpenAI, right? OpenAI. So Microsoft buying out OpenAI, that made them be out of X amount of dollars. But then after they sold off on the initial news, after OpenAI's inclusion, all that ChatGPT stuff, all the Bing stuff that kept coming out, took Microsoft to, you saw where it went to, right? To the north side and to all-time high prices. So APA, although this catalyst is strong enough, I'm not really too keen to make a trade on this one tomorrow. 19 million shares traded today compared to a 4.3 million average is actually pretty good. So there might be a trade here tomorrow, and if there is one, we'll watch it around 33.58, 33.60, 33.50 area. So basically the idea is, want to see the stock support level will be the inflection. Want to see the stock hold support levels to think long. Otherwise, maybe just stay away. If stock is holding under support levels, could look short. Not really looking short, but could look short if it's holding under that 33.50, 33.60 areas. Bearish, no, I'm not gonna put bearish first. I'm gonna put bullish first. Bullish above 33.50, bearish below 33.50. Bang, APA notes are ready. This one's going to be on a little bit of a lower tier priority, whereas compared to all the other stocks that we've been talking about today, pretty much on the higher tier pretty much on the higher tier priority. Now comes, ladies and gentlemen, the large cap stocks, Amazon, Apple, Google, all that fun stuff. Right now, in my opinion, there's only two stocks that we kind of want to keep an eye out for. That's going to be Apple, and it's going to be Microsoft. You can trade Nvidia, you can trade Tesla, you can trade Netflix, you can trade Meta, Amazon, AMD, Intel, all that fun stuff. I'm not saying you can't, but I want to keep my eye out on Apple and Microsoft alone. Apple, the reason why is because I think Apple is get slowly trickling down into 180, and 180 could either give you a great long or an even better short for a bigger move downside. So I had some shorts on Apple today. I'm going to continue watching Apple. Apple has been really, really weak to the downside. So I want to see if that weakness continues, or does Apple hold off at 180? Does Apple hold off at 181 and then pop back up? So got to watch these areas. 181 first support, 180 second support to the downside. Not really interested where the resistances are, but if you are looking for a level to keep an eye out for to the upside, I think that 184 area, which we tried to hold yesterday quite a bit and failed, would be somewhat of an area to keep an eye out for on Apple. The next stock that I said that I want to keep my eye out for tomorrow is Microsoft. That 366.66 area, just call it 366.50, right? Let's call it 366.50, call it what it is, and see what happens when the stock does dump into that prices. Do we hold 366.50? Do we break below 366.50? And that's going to be the key inflection point in my opinion, right? Look how beautiful of a consolidation we've been having in front of that 366.50 area. We've even maybe dipped a little bit under 366.50 up to, what is that, 363, right? But that beautiful consolidation in that range, giving you possible breakouts to the downside, giving you possible hold of that area for the long side and rip it back up north, especially if the market's not looking to go free fall Friday mode. If the market's looking to have a green day tomorrow, there's a good chance that you get an opportunity to go long off of this 366, 367 area on Microsoft. So ignoring that area will be very, very, very much a mistake for everyone tomorrow. And ignoring Apple also, even if the market's strong, ignoring Apple will be a big mistake. There might be muted pops on Apple, but Apple is pretty much like the biggest component of the market, maybe second biggest component of the market right now. So if the market's going up, there's a good chance Apple could give you a little bit of a relief long after selling off quite a bit over here. So Apple and Microsoft, very, very important stocks for me tomorrow. They go on the orange basket. But for all of you large cap lovers, obviously Google, Meta, Nvidia, AMD, Netflix, all of them giving you some ranges, some areas to be interested in and trade. QQQ still going down. Another day, another down 0.5% on QQQ. Looks like we're just waiting for that 394 area to come into play on the Qs. However, Q's not really making like 1%, 3% moves. It's just slowly trickling down. So if we get another 0.5% move from where we are right now, that would be exactly around that 394. So the stock or QQQs could technically open at 394, hold 394, and then just come back to 396 areas, which was today's low, to end the day with. They'll just be up a percent. No, they'll be flat. QQQs will probably just end flat on the day tomorrow if I was to expect something, right? A little bit of a pullback, hold 394 and go back. I'm just throwing out random theories. I don't have crystal balls. Hold up, I do have crystal balls. I got 2 of them right here, baby. But I don't got no crystal balls. I'm just throwing out some random predictions out there. I could see the QQQ easily opening up into 394, try to hold 394 off the open, and then rip up, allowing us to look for the longs on the Microsoft, on the Apples, and all the other big tech stocks that we're interested in. So watch out for that trade to come out. But if 394 is not holding on the QQQs, goodbye, sayonara tech basket. Goodbye, sayonara tech basket. All right. S&P 500 right into the low of the range. Exactly what we called out yesterday. We were expecting the low of the range to come into play and hold, not really go too much under that. Now, if the SPY actually breaks that low of the range and gets under the CPI anchored VWAP, I don't think that matters that much. I'm going to get rid of it. This is the FOMC one. Tomorrow, if we do get under this 467, 50s, let's just say 467, right? Tomorrow we get under tomorrow we get under 467 to the downside. There could open up a lot of selling. This is probably what QQQ will need to break 394. If the SPY breaks 467 and then retraces back up north, that's going to help the QQQ thesis bouncing off of 394. But if the SPY breaks here and goes all the way back into 460s, that's probably going to break your QQQs too. So you want to watch the SPY area, how we trade into this 467 tomorrow. Are we going to hold it? Are we going to break it? IWM already looking a lot weaker. It is closing this gap at the moment. There is this hidden rule in the market that all gaps eventually get closed. So when the gap is closed, maybe we start making a little bit of a move back on IWM over here. This is the small cap ETF, but I think there's a little bit of a free fall Friday incoming. And that's why tomorrow, even if I'm sick, I have to go into work. And that's why today, even if I'm sick, I have to go live because I have to make my watch list. I have to be ready. And whatever the opportunities are, even if it's a nothing burger tomorrow, that's fine. We did the work. We did the due diligence. We made a watch list and all the fun stuff. We even went live, even with the internet issues we were having. I was so worried that I would not have to go live today. I could not go live today because of my internet, and I was also worried that because of my internet and not being able to go live, I will not be able to make a watch list. That means I'll have to make a watch list in the morning and kind of scramble and panic. I don't like doing that. People also ask me, Prad, why do you make a watch list the night before and not in the morning? My answer to that is I'm lazy. Okay, I'm lazy in the morning. I'm not a morning person. I'm not a morning person at all. My brain doesn't work in the morning. It just doesn't. It's just shut off, right? I hate waking up. I love my sleep, which I don't get enough of. So in the morning, just not a morning person. What this helps me is kind of prep for tomorrow based on today's movers. Right? Prep for tomorrow based on today's movers. And then tomorrow morning, all I have to do is go and change a couple levels here, a couple levels there, a little bit of a game plan modification based on, for example, I have a game plan on Apple based on today's move for tomorrow. But in tomorrow pre-market, Apple does a little bit something different, right? Instead of opening here, it opens up here. Now my game plan's a little bit different. Now I just have to modify the game plan and work with it. But had I not even had a game plan to begin with, and I see Apple come out, it would have kind of like, not been the best game plan in my opinion, because I was not ready to kind of see the other side of the coin. For example, I'm bearish on Apple. But tomorrow, QQQ opens up into that low that we were talking about at 394, right? QQQ opens up into that low at 394, holds 394, and then goes higher. We were looking at Apple at 180. Let's say Apple is actually not even at 180 anymore. Apple is at 181, 182. Making this whole trade plan to trade Apple at 180 and seeing it not at 180 will not make me be as bearish. Right? But if you're just thinking, I'm just going to be bearish, you're just going to work tomorrow and you didn't really plan for it, you kind of might not be thinking the way I'm thinking, and you might just try to be extra short, extra bearish, and you might get chopped up if the market does pop up tomorrow. So things like that is just something that I do to help myself. I'm not saying everyone has to do it. If you don't do it, you're not going to be successful. No, that's not what I'm saying, right? I'm just giving you guys an idea of how I situate myself in the market, how I go through, what's my trading routine, and so on. And hopefully you get to steal some ideas from here, or if you don't want it, that's fine too. All right, come back to the chat over here. Let's see what the chat's looking at, and then we can go take a look at our cryptocurrency stocks. All right. I have a whole list back to the free apps. Yeah, okay. Dilution Tracker, maybe. I hate to be a burden. Dilution Tracker was a good website. I mean, I think it costs money though. Does it not? The hell? It's showing me my history over here. I don't want you to show me my history, dude. Are you crazy? Yeah, Dilution Tracker is good. I guess you can get most of its stuff for free. I just don't like that you have to pay for it. It's not 100% free. It's not 100% free. Earnings Whisper is a good one. Options AI is a great one. BAMSEC is a great one too. I kind of forgot about BAMSEC. Yep. Good point about BAMSEC. Man, you really watched Trader TV Live when I was hosting it, huh? Because all these websites that you're throwing in there are actually the websites I used to use on that stream, and no one uses these websites anymore. I promise you, if you have been on the stream on their stream, at least on Trader TV live streams ever since I haven't been on there, no one's using these websites anymore. I promise you that. But no, shout out to Michael Storm. He's actually an OG viewer. I love it. These are all I have under you at Day Trade the World. Let's go. Okay. Attempt long in at 28.50. I'm thinking you're talking about Mobileye over here because we asked you that question. So you're thinking long at 28.50, or you got in at 28.50, somewhere around these areas, and you're looking to swing it long to the north side. I don't hate it. I don't hate it at all, Josh, but be careful if the stock is under 26 or even 25, right? If it's under 26 or 25, which is under the all-time low, you might want to be a little careful on that one, my friend. Okay. Thank you for the video you have planned. It's a great video to make for one. And bro, you're the man for real. Blah, 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 blah. Thank you, bro. I love the support. I love the support. Also, maybe you should replay your Trader B interview on here. I guess I could. I guess I could. I remember that video very well. Yes, yes, yes. Dude, I hope this helps you make the video. The list of free sites. No, yeah, I have bookmarks of all the free sites that I use, so don't worry. I'll just go through all of these. Like even this, pretty sure not a lot of people know this website. Aha, right? Pretty sure not a lot of people know this website. This one you can actually pop out, I think. Can you pop this out? Nah, you can't pop it out. I think you used to be able to pop it out. Anyways, what this one is, basically you set a filter to what notional number you want to see that's being traded on Bitcoin. It's like a time of sales. It puts in all the exchanges at the same time, so you don't have to worry about am I looking at the right exchange or the wrong exchange or so on. It shows you all the exchanges and the 100K or more, and you can see where the buying and selling happens. Pretty sure no one knows this website, right? No one knows this website. This is the heat map. Heat map, basically like Bookmap. Bookmap is an expensive software, it costs money, but this one's a free one. A nice little free heat map for Bitcoin to see where possible sellers and possible buyers are on cryptocurrency. So yeah, don't worry. I have a lot of websites, a lot of tools to talk about in that video. I'll get it going. Don't be upset. I got you upset. I mean, don't you worry at all. I got you covered. The video will most likely be coming sometime next week. I'll record it over this weekend. I will. I promise you I'll record it this weekend. I was gonna say maybe I'm sick. No, I'm not gonna give you excuses. I'm not gonna beat around the bush. I will record that video this weekend. I will edit it and I will post it up sometime this weekend or sometime next week for sure. So stay tuned for that. Now, real quickly, as we are coming to the end of the stream over here, let's watch this video from Mac Kors about what's going on in cryptocurrency world, what's going on in the Bitcoin world, and then look at the Bitcoin stocks to kind of get an idea to see how we could trade them tomorrow.
Let me tell you the newest, hottest, craziest news in the world of crypto. If you haven't been paying attention, obviously the big news right now is Bitcoin spot ETF approval, rejection, what's going on. And because of the news of like some people thinking they have an inkling of what's right, what's accurate, we see the market going up. Another analyst says, no, it's not going to be approved. Market goes down. Lots of volatility. Well, just yesterday, we saw that. There was a quick drop. The overall crypto market, really, Bitcoin lost $5 billion. And now, if you look at what's going on this morning, it's all coming back, and probably to the chagrin right here of Mr. Gary Gensler. So here's the skinny.
I should use that picture as a face swap. I 100% should use that picture as a face
ETFs
swap.
Could be rejected.
Hold up. Gary Gensler images. Oh yeah, that's the one. Can I get a better quality picture, please? Oh, there you go. That's a good quality. Let me quickly go to Discord. Trade apps. No, my apps. Hello, apps, bots. Slash swap face. Drag and drop. I'll show you guys how the picture looks. Swap it with me. Yo, Praddy Gensler. Praddy Gensler. The CEO. Is he CEO? The chairman of the SEC, Praddy Gensler. In the building. In the building.
If the SEC wants more time. Bitcoin slumped as $400 million liquidated in 2 hours. So it's around 6 a.m. on Wednesday, the 3rd, 6 a.m., 7 a.m. We were cruising, went up to 46K, coming down a little bit. And then all of a sudden this report came out and people started to sell. And a lot of people right now, for whatever reason, I'm not necessarily a fan of it, are trading crypto in a leveraged manner. So like they could get anywhere up to 20x leverage, potentially more. So a little bit of a drop causes liquidations and margin calls. And that's exactly why Bitcoin went from 45K to 40.5 thousand in the blink of an eye. Obviously, at this point in time, just for posterity's sake, Bitcoin trading at 43.8, making a nice recovery. So
the beautiful Miss V says Ludo G Kid. Oh, okay. How come that's the first time I've seen you message in the chat, Ludo G Kid? How come I've never seen you say anything in the chat? But no, I appreciate it. Thanks for coming in. Another OG viewer and the beautiful Miss V. You say it all day.
Almost
I miss saying that.
But then obviously it was able to save itself. So as of now, the market cap of crypto, 1.65 trillion, recently was up to 1.85. So lost a good chunk there. Bitcoin trading at 43.8 has a market cap of 860 billion. So that's holding well, but other ones got hit a bit harder, such as Solana. So feel free to check that out. Bitcoin ETF denial report did not cause 8% Bitcoin price crash. But it did. I really don't get some of these articles.
What are these analysts? These analysts smoke some real good weed.
Will reject the spot Bitcoin ETF is not what is behind the Bitcoin price crash below 42,000, according to one lawyer. Not even a trader, not even an analyst saying, no, that wasn't it. But let's read this and you're going to be like, well, that's the dumbest article I've ever read. I know people are desperate for a narrative, but Bitcoin didn't sell off because some silly report about ETF denial. It sold off because nothing goes straight up and it's an easy grab for liquidity to do a long squeeze. In short, the market was overbought. Well, something could be overbought and remain overbought and get more overbought. That's a bubble. But does this lawyer not really understand that even in a bubble-esque scenario, once again, for a very, very short time frame, that when you have a negative piece of news, if one person sells, it could cause a bit of a capitulation, especially in a highly levered market when right now people are trading 20, 50, 100x. So we're just a bunch of margin calls. We can see it. There was $400 million.
One margin call away from everyone getting liquidated, basically.
So of course there's going to be selling.
We are all just one big buyer getting margin called to getting everyone margin called on the way down, and the same way for the way up too. And that's what makes Bitcoin so crazy, right? One margin call buyer. Let's say a big buyer gets margin called. He drops. Him dropping or him selling his position, that margin call selling his big position drops the stock even lower. Margin calling other positions and butterfly affecting and like domino trickling effect all across to the downside, and the same thing for the upside too. And that's the craziness about Bitcoin, maybe because of the leverageness, because of how much leverage people be trading them with.
I feel like this article, like someone just had to write something, and like it just like is, in my opinion, doesn't really make the most sense whatsoever. So just wanted to share that because some people are saying it did cause it. It didn't. Obviously it caused it, but a bigger picture of, oh, okay, like what could actually go down here? Like what happens? Because as I'm filming this on January 4th,
so the Bitcoin ETF is denied. That's it. That's happened
between January 4th and January 10th. So I think we should look at both sides of like who's saying what. Obviously, we have one analyst saying it's not going to get approved. We have many other analysts saying it will get approved. Let's talk about in the very short term.
Has it happened?
To the price in either direction.
It hasn't happened.
Looks very likely given the bureaucratic SEC steps.
So we're still waiting for the news.
Is basically everyone saying that, oh wow, are going to get approval. Yes, there's one guy saying it's not going to happen, but other people are saying, look at the amount of times that they're meeting with the SEC. Literally at this point, daily. Every single day you can open up Fintuit and you're going to find another big crypto. There's about a dozen of these companies who are trying to get these ETF approvals are meeting with the SEC. Doesn't really happen that common to do so many meetings for them to just get disapproved. Spot Bitcoin ETFs could get end of week approval according to Fox. So this came out yesterday and they're basically just excited for what they're looking at is the amount of times meeting. From there, we have very legitimate, prominent players signing up to be APs, authorized participants, JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs. Just think of all the big banks. An authorized participant, if you haven't heard of that term before, it is the people who ensure, like when you create an ETF, an exchange traded fund, it's a basket. It's a basket of something. This basket will have Bitcoin in it. But anyway, it's really held together by the sponsor / the issuer, but you have APs who go out and buy the things that should be in the basket. They're actually putting the things in the basket and then they monitor theoretically what the basket should be worth and its actual worth. And then if they ever need to arbitrage it a little bit up, a little bit down, so it's at a fair, transparent value, that's what they do. Goldman Sachs is in talks to play the key role of being the authorized participant for BlackRock and Grayscale's Bitcoin ETF. This happens all the time. Some of the biggest ETFs actually have multiple authorized participants. And it seems like right now, what we have going on is many companies vying to be the ETF. We have majorly BlackRock and Goldman and JP Morgan to be the APs, the authorized participants. And most of these people are signing up to use Coinbase as the custodian. So you need the custodian, where's the Bitcoin held? You need the APs, the people who make sure everything's in check. And that's going to most likely be JP Morgan, BlackRock, potentially both. And there could be other ones in there. And then obviously we have about a dozen companies who are actually trying to be the sponsor / the issuer of the ETF. But with everything that's going on, all these meetings, all these legitimate companies with billions and billions and billions of dollars behind them, all the meetings, that's why Fox is saying, hey, pretty soon. And we also know that even if it's not by the end of this week, mid next week is January 10th. So that's the date that everyone has kind of circled on their calendar. Bitcoin could rally to
Jan 10th
as Gensler faces pressure to approve ETF. At this point, even according to various SEC members, they can't even come up with a reason of why this is still not approved, especially with the fact that we already have a Bitcoin futures ETF. It's kind of insane that we don't have one right now. And it seems to be a political thing. Once again, Gensler and basically him hooking his political wagon to Elizabeth Warren. And then Elizabeth Warren obviously doesn't like it because she thinks all crime in the world is paid for it. And she, as I alluded to in previous videos, she speaks half-truths. She makes up facts. She skews data. She is not a fair, unbiased party when it comes to talking about really crypto and its intersection with the government and regulations. She literally just makes things up on the fly. And obviously buddies with Gary Gensler. Gensler runs the SEC. But even with that, there's people right under Gensler in the SEC who are ripping their hair out saying, dude, how have we not approved it? It makes no legal sense whatsoever. So anyway, in the short term, there are some analysts saying if it does get approved, we could quickly see Bitcoin rip up to 50,000. On the flip side of that, though, there are analysts saying if it doesn't, well, we could see some liquidations and people saying, okay,
I don't know who Uncle Kevin is. I'll be honest with you.
And we could see a quick.
Is that another YouTuber?
35. At this moment in time, we're trading about 43K. So it seems like plus or minus 7K is just an estimate in the very, very short term on Wall Street. Will it be true? I have no idea. Will it be false? I have no idea. All I know is I'm invested in it for the long term. So I'm in it for the long haul. In the short term, yes.
Kevin O'Leary. Oh, Mr. Wonderful.
So in terms of the bigger view of where could this go post approval, which I do personally believe it will get approved, expected Fed rate cuts support bull case in Bitcoin, but there is a catch. Recessions and triggered rotation.
He's probably saying that because he lost a shit ton of money on FTC, right?
Basically, what they're saying is
FTX.
When you jack up rates, you go coast, and then you start bringing them down. At some point in bringing the rates down, we see a big money movement into riskier assets. So money out of risk assets. So, all right, what does that actually mean? There's a catch. Past data sourced from Macro Micro shows that the early stages of the supposedly stimulatory Fed rate cut cycle are often characterized by the economy on the brink of recession and brief but notable rally in the US dollar, a global reserve currency backed by the world's largest and most liquid government bond market. In other words, if history is a guide, Bitcoin may see a brief and intense bout of risk aversion later this year.
I think we've seen enough of this.
Cutting the benchmark.
I think we've seen enough of this. So basically, the alpha trends. Basically, the overall Bitcoin ETF approval date is on what, 10th January. We're on the 4th of January. Some analysts are coming out and saying it will happen. Some are saying it won't happen. We got Kevin O'Leary on Trader TV saying it won't happen. Gary Gensler is pretty against it. So a couple. Gary Gensler being the chairman of SEC, obviously, he's talking about how much crime takes place on cryptocurrency markets. How these bad participants just make a company. Pump and dump schemes that happen on crypto every other day. It's just the new pump and dump. Logan Paul's famous for that. Jake Paul's famous for that. So they want to kind of control that thing, right? But at the same time, wasn't FTX under Gary Gensler's control? FTX, the biggest problem in the world in terms of scams, was under Gary Gensler's control, and Gary Gensler met what's his face, Scam Bankman-Fried multiple times. They got in touch with each other, and it still happened right under your nose. So it's like, hey, Gary Gensler, maybe that's why he's so cautious, because he wants to protect people and make sure that they make money and don't lose money. Well, if that's the case, then how the hell are these Chinese pump and dumps like HKD happening, huh, Gary? How's MEGL happening, huh, Gary? So if you really care about the market that much, then how the hell is this garbage shit happening? How is this happening? MEGL, sorry. How the hell is this garbage shit happening? You really don't care about the market. You only there for your personal reasons, and I don't know what your personal reasons are. Maybe you're selling drugs on the dark web for all I know. But whatever your personal reasons are, if you want to block the ETF, I'm sure there's going to be a lot of hatred coming towards that guy. Not that there isn't already, but if you're telling me that you're doing this for the betterment of people to protect them from losing money, then what the fuck was this? Not that I've lost money, but the idea is, look, stop pretending you're here for the better of people. Stop bullshitting people. Stop lying to people, right? Tell me what's real. Keep it real with me. I'll respect you more with that. But now that we are done with our rant, let's go back to the actual market in itself, and the stock and the spot market, which is Bitcoin, which is Coinbase, which is Mara. Obviously, Bitcoin kind of went crazy in the last few days, but I think now they're going to start normalizing. Bitcoin is also trading sideways. We are only 6 days away from that big day where the ETF is either going to be approved or disapproved, and that is going to make or break this move on Coinbase, on Bitcoin, on Mara, on Riot. So you want to be a little careful when you're still watching these trades, but some of these stocks are giving you some levels to keep an eye out for. Riot 16 coming back into play, Mara 26 coming back into play, Coinbase 145, 140, 155, 160. So all this $5-10 increment ranges that you're watching on Mara, on Coinbase, on Coinbase. You just got to keep waiting to see if some sort of a pattern builds in where you can go long off of, or some sort of a pattern builds in where you can go short off of. Today, one of my close friends, a trader from the Day Trade the World floor, maybe you've seen him on the YouTube show, on Trader TV live shows, Yannick, he actually got along right here. He got along right around here on Coinbase. Did not add here, which was a little bit of a mistake in my opinion, but he got along right here, and he got out right into yesterday's highs or so, somewhere. No, I think it got in a little bit higher, somewhere around here, if I remember correctly. I actually don't. Maybe he did get out into yesterday's highs. Maybe he did get out into yesterday's high after building that long. Ooh, what the hell is that? Let's go to 1 minute. Yeah. So he did get out into pre-market high / yesterday's high right around this 155, 156 area, and he was long like 151. So beautiful $3, $4, $5 move to the north side, killed that long. But I was just a little upset with him not taking the ad over here with the stop, with the new stop. With this long over here, his stop was here. Cool. But with his long here, the even better stop, that gives you a chance to add more size to your trade and really bag a big winner on Coinbase. And you want to look for those type of patterns. Flush, hold, pop up, hold, pop even more. And that's where you can even add over here, or build your position on the move above today's VWAP. So let's say you get in at 152.38, your stop is at 150.50. You're still getting a big multiple risk to reward move right back to the north side on Coinbase. People might say, oh, hindsight 50-50, 20-20, 100-100. No, this is not a hindsight. It's a clear pattern long, holding a level, and you're playing off of that. So if Coinbase is giving you some sort of a patterns like this into the 150s, into the 155s, into the 160s, into the 165s, into 170s, then you're watching these $5 increments on Coinbase. Keep in mind though, the stock spread is yucky and pukey, so you don't want to get trapped into that one. Real quick, let me show you what Bitcoin spot ETF is, or not ETF, spot market is looking like. The Bitcoin spot market still looking good. It's a little bit down on the day today, down 1.4%, still not under 4,000, but still not above 4,600, still not under 40,000, and still not above 46,000. So still a little bit of a range to battle in. We are holding that trend line pretty cleanly so far. I do like that. So let's see if that trend line continues to hold and we keep ripping to the north side on BTC. Real quickly, for the last few things to do over here on the stream, we're not going to watch a S&B Capital video today, mainly because they don't have a good one, or at least a good new one for us to watch. So no S&B Capital video today. We're going to just show you guys the economic calendar tomorrow. So looks like we have a little busy economic calendar, as you guys can see over here. Mainly we only care for the 3 stars and the 2-star events. So 8:30, we got a lot of 2-star, 3-star events, separate 2-star, 3-star events, not just like one. Usually you see the PMI or the PPI or the CPI or whatever, and then that's it, right? But over here at 8:30, we got multiple economic data coming out, all of which could either make or break the day tomorrow, all of which could either trigger a free fall Friday or not trigger a free fall Friday and just have a boring Friday, or trigger a insane rally Friday. We don't know yet, so be careful around 8:30. There's a good chance that one of these 8:30 numbers, especially if all of those 8:30 numbers come out good, or if all of those 8:30 numbers come out bad, really moves the market tomorrow. So watch out for what happens at 8:30. We got the 10 o'clock number coming out to the non-factoring ISM numbers, pretty important. And besides that, I guess there's nothing else. So 10 o'clock and 8:30 are the 2 important time periods tomorrow for day traders. So make sure you are keeping your eyes peeled on that. Real quickly, let me just go over here and scan to see if I'm missing any after hour movers for today. It looks like GM brought in a decent amount of volume after hours, but didn't really move too much, only moved 0.3%. So GM over there for those of you interested in that one. Any stock that gapped up drastically in the after hours with some volume, looks like Peloton moved up after hours, almost a 7.5% move that's 2 million shares. I don't know about that. We're just going to move this one a little bit here, 666. So we're watching Peloton. Obviously, we have it in our notes for tomorrow to see if it can get that 666. And we have an alert set up over here. Coming back to the market chameleon to see if any other stock moved with volume and made a big move. Not really, but yeah, Mara, QS, Riot, RX, all of which we've talked about, moved with volume and moved drastically. Looks like APLT did that. What's the news? Oh, a therapeutics company. Phase 3 study of the diabetic pill probably not going in the right direction for them. So this stock plunged 30% on 2.6 million shares, APLT. Obviously, triggering SSR might be something to keep an eye out for if you are a small cap biotech trader, because the stock could just plummet to the ground tomorrow, giving you like a big short. But I am not one of those small cap biotech traders, so no reason for me to take a look at it. Going to the IPO calendar, January. Looks like nothing really coming into the IPO calendar just yet, so we'll keep waiting patiently for whenever that populates with anything important for us. The next Fed date is on the 31st of January, so that'll be on the end of the month. Until then, we don't have to worry about the interest rates changing or anything crazy happening. We just recently had the FOMC minutes. That was a nothing burger. They did talk about possible rate cuts and all that's fun stuff, but even then the market didn't do anything fun for us at 2 o'clock. So January 31st, we'll wait for FOMC then. Ladies and gentlemen, somehow I feel good. I feel better. Maybe because I was able to stream. So thank you, Rogers, and thank you, internet gods, for fixing my internet exactly 3 minutes past 8 o'clock, allowing me to stream. The stream is now, however, done. Thank you for coming by. Sorry for being late. Thank you for spending the hour and a half with me. If you have not already, please do hit the like and subscribe. It would mean the world to me. If you think I deserve it, obviously. If you don't think I deserve it, then that's fine. Let me know how I can improve if you don't think I deserve it. That would also help me, like the like and subscribe will. Friday tomorrow, let's see if it's a free fall Friday or not. If it is, you know your boy Prad's gonna be very happy, and you're gonna hear how happy I am exactly on Discord, on Twitter, and all the other fun social media stuff. All the links are right down below. If you guys want to support your boy Trader Prad, you can do so on Patreon, and there's some extra perks on Patreon too if you want to sign up for that extra perks. And if you want to go even more wacky and even more crazy, you can hire me to record a video on Cameo. All the links, once again, right down below in the subscription. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for an awesome start to 2024. I am excited to see what this year holds in store for me and for all of you, for this amazing community that we're building together. Have a great day tomorrow and have an even better weekend. I will see you guys Monday, same time, same place, 8 o'clock at night. Until then, ladies and gentlemen, ciao, good night. Oh, also, video dropping, I don't want to say Sunday, but video dropping this week. Stay tuned for that. Good night, ladies and gentlemen. Peace.